I like it. I like what I'm seeing. Let's do some pick'ems though. Let me know who you think's going to win these games here. And by the way, uh, well, no, we'll save it for last. But Bengals and Saints, both teams, 2-3. It's in New Orleans. I don't even know if Winston's back or not. I don't necessarily think it matters at this point. Although I like what Andy Dalton's doing. But what's your take? I mean, this is a tough Bengals team that really needs to get back on track.
Andy Dalton will be in. That's the latest report.
Okay.
Sounds like Winston is closer, but Dalton will be the guy. I think this is a simple case of where we get to fade the Saints coming off a game where they covered, coming off a game where they just played a bad defense. Seattle is letting everyone score points. And you have Joe Burrow coming to town. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, first game back in Nolens since they played for LSU and won a national championship. I love the
Okay.
idea that the Bengals, in a game where they're not going to get faced with a big pass rush, that's been their weakness. Their offensive line has failed them. Well, the Saints, they have a below average pass rush this team. So we just saw the explosive plays they gave up to Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf and Geno Smith. Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase. I like their chances to have the same level of success with those explosive plays. I'm going to take the Bengals here, laying the point, laying the 2 points against the Saints.
I dig it. I dig it. Here, this one's I got to do it. Got to bring it up right now. We are broadcasting from Dallas, so let's just do it. I think this is what Sunday Night Football too in Philadelphia. Dallas 4-1, and of course the undefeated Eagles.
in Philly.
I'm still not, I'm not sure who I'm going to pick here to win this thing, but I got to be honest with you, this could go either way.
So, fun angle. Jason Peters, revenge spot. Just kidding. I think you're worried a little bit about the Eagles' offensive line. There's some injuries there. It sounds like they're all gonna go. To me, this is a Jalen Hurts game. Jalen Hurts has showed all of his critics he is a dog, and he is playing good football right now. And Jalen Hurts has never beat the Dallas Cowboys. If you're a quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, nothing matters until you beat the Cowboys. I think the crowd will be lit here. It's hard to want to lay the
True.
6.5 points, so I have a couple alternate ways to play the game because I do that. There's no way I would play the Cowboys. It's something it's not, it's an ethical choice or a moral choice maybe.
Yeah.
I just don't bet on the Cowboys. You know how that goes. But if you wanted to make some bets on this game, I think there's two fun angles. I think you have the Jalen Hurts get it done game angle where you can bet his anytime touchdown at plus 125. The guy has scored a rushing touchdown in 4 out of 5 games this year. You can bet his over 48.5 rushing yards. The guy's averaged 13 and a half carries. If he gets 4 yards of carry, he's getting home. The other angle I like is the end of the Cooper Rush train. This is probably going to be his last game and also the best passing defense he's going to face by some margin. I love going under on his 221 and a half passing yards. I just think Bradbury, Darius Slay, that pass rush, the Eagles are by far the best team the Cowboys will have faced this year. And so I think Cooper Rush gets a little bit of a taste of reality here. Cowboys lose, Cooper Rush looks horrible, and I think we see Dak next week.
Yeah, back to reality. Pretty much. Um, we'll see what happens. Bills and Chiefs. I mean, is this a game? I mean, they're both 4-1. It's in Kansas City, but it is this a game where we'll see high scores, or do you think it's going to maintain kind of just a defensive, line, if you will?
Everyone seems to be like, this is the highest total on the board. I think everyone is assuming we're going to see a high scoring game because
Hmm.
that's what they remember in the playoffs, and they're both high powered offenses. And I think everyone is pointing to like, hey, this is a Josh Allen revenge spot. They lost the coin toss in overtime and they lost the playoff game. Well, let me remind you, they played last year in the regular season, and the Bills went to Kansas City and won 38-20. So everyone pointing at the Bills revenge spot, I'm just gonna say, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, they don't get their ass beat too often at home. They might be remembering that as well.
Hmm.
And when I look at this game, and I just purely this is a history bet for me. Patrick Mahomes has never been a home dog. In 42 games playing home games in Kansas City, he's never been an underdog. I'll happily take Patrick Mahomes as an underdog at home for the first time in his career,
Wow.
even though the Bills have looked amazing. I think this will be a tough spot, and I'll happily be wrong once again. As you know, I've been picking against the Bills every week. It's not always the best strategy,
Yeah.
but I think this will be a very popular side. I have not spoken to too many people that are looking to bet the Chiefs in this spot.
What do you think the score is going to be?
From a fantasy or like a DFS perspective, I do think it's fun to kind of game theory yourself into saying, hey, what if both teams decide to try to establish the run and keep the ball out of those quarterbacks' hands? I would take the under just because a total of 54, 55 is getting to a point where
What?
you're not really going to get rich taking overs there. So I certainly would be I'm a contrarian. I like to go against what the public narrative is. And right now, everyone thinks they're going to see a 40 to 42 shootout.